Jon Anik and Kenny Florian Podcast. Jon Anik and Kenny Florian.
I fucking love them. I can't get enough of them.
Let's hear that Boston next.
Big jab there from Duffy, and Frank Mir is hurt now. Down goes Duffy, out cold. Frank Mir does it again. Rock'em sock'em robots here. Oh my goodness. Hyperbole.
There are a couple of absolutely self-involved bullshit artists.
Here are your hosts, Jon Anik and Kenny Florian.
Well, I kind of like this visual. Kenny looks like a little person. I was going to say something about the headroom in our pre-show meeting. I mean, I could back up, but I'm wearing my pink Young LA sweatpants.
There we go.
Can you sit up? Jeez, you won like a million UFC fights. No, we can't dick around today. We actually can't even screw around. It's Monday, July 13th, 2026. It is. What the fuck is that?
What is that sound? What is that sound?
Raymond Pete's coming up in 7 minutes. That sounds like something he would do. What is going on? Oh, all right. That was Cody. All right.
Did Cody fall down the stairs? I hope you're okay, Cody. Okay.
It's Monday, July 13th, 2026. Episode of the internet in terms of what people think happened here. Conor McGregor back for the first time in 5 years, and say what you want about maybe some recreational decisions he's made over the last half decade, how committed he's been the whole time in totality to the craft and to maintenance of the martial arts and the skills in his body, right? But to me, this really just looked like an unlucky fluke injury and maybe a wayward decision, even if healthy, to try a switch kick like this right out of the chute, even if he had pre-thought it quite a bit.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. You know, a lot of times when you're an artist, and Conor McGregor is an artist, he is a martial artist, and very much inspired by that. I think, you know, you have these ideas of what you're going to do. And I don't think that was like the whole game plan, but you know, you see certain things in your opponent and maybe you dream about it and you envision it, or you hit it in training and, you know, it sounds like a good idea at the time. And, you know, perhaps it was, but his body just wasn't ready for it, whether it was wear and tear over the course of the camp or just a misstep on that planting leg. It unfortunately happened, and this is a brutal sport, both the preparation for the fight and the fight itself. And unfortunately for Conor, you know, he planted his foot wrong, reached forward a little bit too much. His weight was on the wrong part of his leg, and his leg blew out. Whether it was a meniscus tear or some kind of existing injury that he didn't know about or whatever, thought he could push through, I don't know. I don't want to speculate on that. But these are things that just happen in the sport. We've seen it many times before in other sports, of course, as well. And it was just unfortunate all the way around, man.
Yeah, check out Dr. David Abbasi on Instagram, right? We are discouraged, certainly on broadcast, from speculating medically as to what might have happened. It is amazing for me to see all the talking heads out there on Instagram that have already diagnosed this as a torn ACL when it could be a meniscus. Who knows exactly what happened to Conor McGregor? Who knows if, you know, the fog agent maybe made him slip? We were fogging that thing all night. I'm not sure that was the factor. When I looked at the ceremonial weigh-in, right, you can see how out of practice Conor is because there's no need to derobe your bottom half. We've officially weighed in the morning. And so then he's putting his sneakers back on. And I'm thinking, in real time, I'm watching the ceremonial weigh, and he's taking all this time to put his sneakers back on. And I'm just thinking he's preparing for the stare down. You know, things happen at a stare down, right? Just ask Dricus Close, right, when he got pushed wearing sandals. You know what I mean? So I didn't read too much into that. Certainly if you slow down visuals and you see him in the inspection zone, Kenny, it looks like maybe a little bit of a misstep, but it seemed to me like he went in there healthy. I take John Kavanagh and Conor McGregor at their word. I give them the benefit of the doubt, and it seems like in the court of public opinion, 90% of people aren't doing that. This is mixed martial arts. Alexandre Pantoja got injured recently in a championship fight. Carlos Ulberg was able to fight through it in a recent championship fight. This happens. It just happened to Conor McGregor off a 5-year layoff, and people are going fucking nuts about it.
Yeah, I think as people, especially when we have this voice, we have the internet, we all have accounts, and we want to speak our mind, it's very easy to justify something that you believe, right? I can point to anything and make a case for it. It may not be the strongest case, But we live in this day and age where it's easy to believe a lot of different things. There's a lot of different narratives around things, and we can get out of hand with our theories, and it's tricky. And I think that a couple things, that point to it not being an existing injury or some kind of conspiracy that Conor was there to just collect a paycheck. First of all, I don't think Conor would come back unless he genuinely wanted to fight and genuinely wanted to win. And then furthermore, if he was injured, why would he throw the riskiest of kicks straight away? Right? Why would you do that? If you have an existing knee injury, why would you throw something risky like that where you're jumping off the ground across the cage to throw a head kick like that? Conor has certainly done that before. This isn't unusual for him. But why would you do that if you already had a compromised knee? I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. No, of course. And you could harken back to the Jose Aldo fight in terms of him rehearsing a move that he was going to try right out of the chute. One thing that I was wondering in terms of his approach to the fight, was he going 16 weeks hard as hell cardiovascularly to prepare for a 25-minute championship fight, or was he going to try to, put his absolute best foot forward in maybe, 8 to 9 minutes, see if he could get Max Holloway out of there, right? Like, I don't know that any of us fancied Conor winning a 25-minute fight or felt like the long game gave him an advantage in this fight, right? I don't know if you heard me say on broadcast, Kenny, Max Holloway has more title fight minutes than any fighter in UFC history, almost 9 hours in championship fights, 13 title fights, BMF fights included, almost 9 hours of octagon time, and the entire time Conor McGregor's been away, Max Holloway's been in it, stacking championship training camps, adding to his body, being additive with every decision he makes. And, I would definitely stop short of saying that Conor cheated the fight game. I do think he's clear of intention and well-intentioned and prepared dutifully. But, you get but one human body, and, it can break down.
It's a blessing and a curse being so physically talented, because I do believe that Conor is a tremendous athlete. The problem is that eventually goes away. It's why technique and consistency in what you do is always king, because I think for me, and I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this, I think Conor was trying to recreate the Conor of old. I think Conor was trying to come out and maybe, conjure up some of that magic that he had in that first fight. He came out with the same haircut. He was kind of talking in the same manner, all of that stuff. But the reality is that you can't kind of go back in time. What you need to do is really recreate who you are at the current present moment. Yeah. And that means like adjusting for how your body is now, not trying to go back in time, because your prime comes and it goes and it never comes back. And you may have moments in training and like, that was a great training session, I felt like my old self, but it doesn't mean you can do it consistently. You have to be technically superior than everybody else. That's what allows you to keep up with everybody and continually get better.
Right. Only guy I know who's had like 4 fighting primes is Raymond Pete. Let's get to the let's get to the Ray Longo Minute.
It's now time for the Ray Longo Minute.
I want you to punch a hole in his fucking chest. That's what I want.
The Ray Longo Minute. Starring Ray Longo. The John Anik and Kenny Florian Podcast.
Look at him. Look at the motherfucker. That's
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey, thanks for showing up early. We got Brandon Royval coming up in your time slot later today. It's nice to see you. How's your Monday?
So far, so good, John. The jet lag from Baku to Vegas was just brutal. But I had a good day yesterday, so I hope it carries on today and doesn't go backwards. But I took a fucking ass beating.
Don't Google how long it takes your body to reacclimate. God. Just going Vegas to New York, because I hear you and I feel you, but I did not go to Azerbaijan.
Oh, man, is it that bad? Now I'm going to Google it, and I feel
it's crazy. It's crazy in terms of sleep cycles and everything else. Anyway, so when Conor McGregor was walking out to the octagon, One thing that I didn't see was just his usual lunacy, right? Looking into the camera as if he wanted to maybe murder a human being, or smiling. And even when he did the billionaire strut in the octagon, he didn't seem to have that usual pizzazz. Now, I don't know if he lacked confidence, hadn't been on the canvas in a long time. Kenny and I both believe that this injury happened in fight and was not pre-existing, but I didn't think Conor McGregor had that usual look in his eye coming out.
Yeah, look, I think Kenny, I only heard like the last minute, but I think he's dead on. Like, I think he tried to conjure up all the things from the past that it just doesn't work like that. Look, we said it, 5 years being away and doing the right thing is hard. Like, even Dominic Cruz alluded to that. That guy was doing everything right. He wasn't partying, and it was 3 years, right? I think he said 5 years. I mean, steroids and fucking cocaine. I don't even know. I'm not saying it allegedly, whatever the hell it is. It's a lot, man. It's a lot on your body. Your body, there's things, I'm sure, Kenny, you think your brain says you could do, and you can't do it, right? You know what I mean? Like, the brain is a really weird thing. It's going to make you believe certain things that just aren't true. And I think that's what we saw. Just, he looked old when he got in there. He did. He looked very old to me.
Yep.
And this is not an old man's game at that weight class for sure.
Yeah.
And, the inactivity, I just think everything we said was kind of nothing. I don't think he was hurt before. He was throwing those kicks in the dressing room, but why he would even want to lead with a technique like that at this, like, the older you get, Kenny, that's what you want to be, jumping in the air. Takes a lot of cardio to jump in the air too. Keep jumping around.
Well, it's just risky on your body too,
yeah,
right? I mean, that's a lot of force
everything.
landing on that one leg. Yeah.
And Kenny, it's cardio wise, it's cardio intensive. You got to conserve your energy. He knows how to box. Why not go out there and try to look for like a power shot? You got to start jumping in the air. I thought that wasn't good, but that's not for, any of us to say. But I do think he got hurt in the fight. And then, I think he's a stand-up guy with the fight. And for him to get the hell out of that octagon, I believe he was mentally tortured, because he would have addressed something or said something.
Yep.
I think they were booing him on the way out. He's not used to that. You know what I mean? It's psychologically, I think he got fucked over bad, and it's unfortunate, because I think everybody wanted to see a fight. It was just what a tremendous letdown to a really fucking great night of fights, man.
Yeah, I think with that one kick, I don't think it's, if you do it multiple times, yeah, I think it's going to be cardio intensive, but I don't have a problem with that necessarily. I do think, though, you have to be very aware of where you're at physically at that point in your life, and understand that, hey, maybe I don't throw it with the same kind of speed, and maybe I'm telegraphing this a lot more in my 30s than I did when I was in my 20s.
Right.
And also, what makes Conor special is the fact that he did go for things like this. People wanted to watch him because he was creative, and he was looking for that one moment that was going to, separate that guy from consciousness. And in order to be a superstar, you got to be able to take those risks. The problem is, this is not the same Conor that came into the UFC way back when. And I think that there's that, as a fighter, as a professional athlete, as a guy with the ego, you don't want to let go of that and say, I am no longer that person. That's the internal fight that we all deal with as professional athletes.
Yes.
And it's such a difficult thing to balance.
No, I agree. And my point with the cardio, that's even, look, I've seen Taekwondo guys at 20, and then I've seen them at 40. It don't look the same. It's just not that, Kenny. It's just not
That's
there.
True.
That's all I'm saying. It's like, why you would think something like that? That's an attribute that's going to go. Power is the last thing to go, so they say, and I believe it. I would have revolved my game around that. That's all I'm saying. I don't get the whole point of that. They're not the same. Like, when you're 20, those legs are snapping all over the place. You're jumping like that crazy. It don't look good at 40. I've seen it. I've seen it 100 times. And that was my only point. Like, I just didn't get what the whole point of it was. Yeah, you want to be that same guy. You want the same haircut. I think that alone is telling you that you're looking in the wrong spot for what's going on. You're counting on some other factors that you shouldn't have been counting on. Because they might think they mean something in your head. You know what I mean? You do the same walkout song, you're a different person. Everybody is. It's just you're different.
So Dominic Cruz is a good comp, and I spent a lot of time with him doing television, as Kenny did, when he was not competing. And even one of his injuries, like plantar fasciitis, that nobody talks about, he had to tape his feet up to put dress shoes on, because back then we weren't allowed to wear sneakers on TV, right? So he was taping up his feet. But everything he was doing to maintain his body was to try to get back. And I don't know that any of us blame Conor McGregor for maybe leaning into recreation to whatever degree with the financial freedom that he had accrued. Dom certainly had not accrued that. I mean, the comp isn't complete in totality, but I'd like to defend Conor for a second. You know, putting himself out there competitively, seemingly for all the right reasons, finding God, finding sobriety, trying to better himself physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I'm not defending the UFC here. I'm a fan, right? But when I see all this recklessness and ignorance out there, I didn't even intend to talk about this, but I go on social media and I see all of these allegations about what this fight was or wasn't and the injury. And, you know, if you're someone out there who had a big bet on Conor McGregor, given all the variables and intangibles and unknowns, then intellectually, I don't know what to fucking tell you. So, I don't know. I think we need to lay off Conor, and I do believe he'll be back to honor the final fight on his UFC contract. And you see the competitor within Kenny, right? Like in all of the posts that he has made, and maybe we can, you know, show you guys some of what he has said, right? One fight left on his contract. You can be sure he's going to compete beyond that UFC contract, right? Like this is what he wants to do.
I do, and I think that, you know, you brought up the God thing, and without getting it too deeply into it, I do think that sometimes when you turn to a higher spiritual state, that's where most of the challenges actually come through. It's like, are you who you say you are? Well, we're going to challenge that, and God doesn't give you what you want; He gives you what you need. And I think maybe this is exactly what Conor needs, and he's fighting a couple wars, right? Simultaneously. It's this multi-pronged war. It's a war versus himself, a war perhaps against addiction, a war against Max Holloway. You know, all these doubts that creep in, and it is not easy. And I think you have to respect the guy for coming back, no matter what you think about him. You know, nobody's perfect, and we're all trying to come back to become a better self. And I hope Conor's able to get through this, because these are the kind of things that can set a man back. You work so hard for all this, and it ends like this. This is going to be the hardest test of Conor McGregor's life, in my opinion, bigger than any fight, bigger than anything, because this is not the way he saw this going down.
1,000,000%. But and John, I'm not coming across like I hate Conor, right?
I'm talking about what I saw on the internet.
Oh yeah, because I feel
think I'm coming at you.
No. I know
when I'm coming at you.
No. I know, but I'm saying I do feel bad for him, and I agree with Kenny. This is going to be the toughest, based on the way he left that octagon and reading his body language. This by far will be the toughest thing, because now he's got to sit there for months like everybody else had to do and listen to the fucking bullshit, just like you were talking about, John. He's got it now. This is the fight for him. And, you know, like, again, it's just, but it did come down to just, listen, for the time, you're not beating it. And it's not that he's even, how old is he, 37? He's not even that old, but you gotta, you know, if you're gonna stay competitive in this game, and maybe some of the freaks can do it and they're out there, but some guys can't. You can't abuse your body, and you can't be away for 5 years and expect to come back like the guy you were at 22. That's where I'm having the disconnect with.
Yeah, and Ray, it's so difficult as a professional athlete of knowing how far to push your body, because it's one of those things. Are you in it for the long term? Are you trying to maximize that small window that you have and just go as hard as possible, no matter what the impact on your body is? Or are you thinking, hey, if I want to be around and fight for, let's say, a decade at the highest level, what does that mean for my training? Yeah. Because, you know, you have this great Ferrari or Porsche or whatever, this race car. Well, you can't run it into the ground every single day without maintenance, right? And it's a body, it's a human body, not a mechanical automobile that you switch out parts all the time. So it's such an interesting thing thinking about it from that perspective as an athlete, as a fighter. How do I manage my training so my body can actually do this long term? Because, you're talking about compound fractures, you're talking about ACL tears, surgeries, wear and tear on this is the toughest, in case you didn't know, this is the toughest sport in the world.
And Kenny, I'm just going to say, both of you guys, as a coach, the injuries I've had to work around with fighters, I'm telling you, I think I did a great job on some of that shit. And it is fucking heartbreaking to watch. It just, I can't.
Right.
And I've dealt with it a lot of times. And there's, those stories will come out and they'll almost sound like bullshit in the future. But it's not easy, man. You're just not the same guy. And you better learn how to adjust and move in a different direction, or you're going to be, it's a long road. But I think people are getting smarter these days. I do believe that.
So I remember, given our friendship, intimating to Dominic Cruz that maybe he was like a millisecond slower on the feet. And he's like, dude, you're so fucking wrong. Like, not at all. I got tested by the PI like you couldn't be more wrong in terms of the miles per hour, you ignorant non-fighter.
Oh, yeah. He got
Right.
tested by the he got tested by the PI.
Well, anyway, But Ray, well, but what you said about
they're wrong.
Well, what you said though about Conor looking old, I do believe that he is going to be slower, if not significantly, and he's not going to fight Michael Chandler a year from now. The ship has already sailed on that fight. I don't know what the fight would be. I don't really want to talk about your appetite for a trilogy with Max Holloway. I know Cody does. I don't think that makes any sense other than maybe for somebody's bank account. So, but Conor is going to come back and honor the final fight on his contract. And I do believe another year, in theory, of sobriety, away from anything that was, he should hug his wife, hopefully, right, in the year that expires right now. But I do think that, he could have a better capstone than this. But as far as his MMA legacy is concerned, fellas, it's not what he wants it to be, despite his status as a simultaneous double champion and the first person to do that.
No, he wanted more, and I think that's why he came back, and he's chasing that again. He is a competitor. There's no question about it. I think he just needs to come to grips, and it's a difficult thing that he is not who he used to be. Now, how do you evolve your game to accommodate for that?
Yeah.
That's the test now as the martial artist, is how does he maybe incorporate that same creativity that he had, but in a different way for a different body?
Yeah, I'll tell you. And the other thing is, man, the guy that wins the lotto ticket is fucking Paddy Pimblett, man, because he had the crowd behind. That's what the other thing, when you come to the realization that your time is running out and there's another guy behind you taking all that crowd away, and he has a fantastic performance followed by that performance, Pimblett becomes the guy at this point on that side of the pond. It's just, that's a hard thing to deal with, So, again, I think Kenny hit it on the head. This is his hardest fight combined with everything. But it is what it is, man.
Paddy stole the show, man. Yeah.
Well, Paddy was a meteor. I think even the Conor McGregor rub is certainly useful, but
look, the vibe was different in Vegas, John. Those rooms were sold out. Those places were going crazy.
I was checking in at the Durango, and the guy was like, yeah, Friday and Saturday night are crazy. I'm like, because he asked if there was a fight this week, and I was like, yeah, Conor McGregor's fighting. He's like, because I was wondering why Friday and Saturday are so expensive.
Isn't that crazy when people don't know what's going on in Vegas?
Right.
They got billboards all over the place, but this fucking dunce is sitting. Wait, what's going on? The fucking turtle racing back in town?
So let me ask you this, Rick.
Yeah.
Man.
And those are Cody Merrow's words, not mine. But to what extent are you over the Conor McGregor experience? Because I'm not, Doug, okay? I'm not over the Conor McGregor experience. And when I see people denigrate what he has done, I'm not saying he's top 10 all time in the UFC, but this man was an incredible fighter. I mean, look what he did against Chad Mendes. You know, this is more than just a striker. You know, this guy was married to the game. He's an ultimate competitor, and I would like to see him in the UFC strategically in one more fight. I mean, the fact that Conor's going to retire with one win at 155 pounds in the UFC, Kenny, his best weight class to me, is hugely bothersome. So, Ray, to what extent are you over the Conor McGregor experience at this point in time?
I'm over the experience, but I am pulling for a redemption story in his life. I am pulling for that, but I'm over. As far as the fighting, I think I'm totally over that. You know, I mean, somebody told me that like Brett Okamoto was tweeting out McGregor versus Mayweather.
Who cares?
Why would you
dumbest
tweet?
Shit I've ever heard.
Well,
Yeah.
why would he tweet that out, John? He's not a stupid guy.
You're asking me why he would tweet it?
Yeah, why would he?
Why? Because it still makes. I won't dispute that fight still makes money, but nobody wants to see it.
No, but and Blake, did you hear Holloway? How about a trilogy? Crickets in that crowd.
Well,
I don't think there was one clap I heard on TV.
Max, I feel for Max in the
moment. He tried to be positive, and he got that. And Max is a legend. He got shut down on everything he said on that microphone. He didn't know which way to go, and he was literally trying to just be uplifting and positive in a moment that was, depressing. And I tell you, the crowd wasn't having it, man. Am I wrong on that?
No, you're not wrong at all.
Yeah, because when I was looking, I go, holy crow, they're just shutting everything down. So they're going to try to look. Am I over the experience? Yeah, I'm over. I'll tell you what I'm over. I'm over Mayweather, McGregor too. And I'm over prostituting the guy for his name for the sake of somebody making money. That I'm fucking definitely over.
Yeah.
But if the guy wants to train the right way and come back, I'm 1,000,000% behind it.
Yeah, it's tough for Max, who I'm sure he was both disappointed but also really excited that he made a few million dollars in about a minute without really a whole lot of effort. And I think he got excited, and it's tough. And your emotions are running high, and you have a microphone in your face all of a sudden. It's tough, man, because he could see that the fans were clearly disappointed, and at the same time, he was kind of elated that he made that money and that he was able to get through that and even the score. However, in that way, same way, like Josh Van got booed, or people were not happy with him celebrating with Pantoja getting hurt.
Right.
It's a tough thing, emotions run high. It was unfortunate. I think Max did say the wrong thing, but hey, having a mic in your face with all those circumstances, it's not easy.
Oh, I'm not even saying the wrong thing. I think that's Max. He's an upbeat guy. He wants to.
Yeah, no, he was trying to be positive.
He was trying to be Max. It just that's how bad it was. Is what I'm saying is that nobody was buying it. Like nobody cared. Something was off, and unfortunately.
Well, but I think it's going to be tough for Conor because you have a few fights where he's been injured. Something has happened. I mean, gosh, back in the first Max Holloway fight, he blew his ACL, right? And people are going to start to question, okay, you have this fight. Even leading up to this fight, people kept asking me, and I was like offended. Is Conor actually going to make it into the cage? And I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, you think he's going to just not walk in the cage? Yeah, he's going to just pull out all of a sudden? And then this happened. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Right. Now, so people are going to start to question this is like, okay, Conor's going to do another camp. Is he going to make it through camp? Is he going to walk into that cage? Is he going to get past a first round? Is his leg going to be okay? Which leg is going to be okay? So it opens up all of these questions. And I think that's going to be the tough thing for him, I guess, or maybe for the UFC more importantly, is like, can they sell him on the fact that he's going to walk into that cage again and perform and satisfy people's hard-earned money when they buy a ticket, or that's going to be the tough thing. I think
Kenny, I think that's why you heard the crickets, and I'm not saying, I'm just making an observation. They felt they got bamboozled. They got bamboozled out of their money. There was those are his fans, and they went dead silent. They felt they got bamboozled, and to sell it again, I don't think it's going to be easy. But again, it goes back to, but if anybody could do it, it's this guy. But he's going to have to start putting training footage up and, forget about keeping shit secret anymore, because people are going to have to lean into something and believe that he could get back in there. And we don't even know the severity of this injury yet, do we? I don't know.
No, I don't think we do.
So we don't even know that.
He alluded to surgery and rehab and stuff like that. We just don't know what it is, I guess.
Yeah. But immediately he's talking about satisfying the last fight on his UFC contract. And certainly I won't be the first talking head today to say that in a boxing realm, without using kicks and all of the weaponry and defending takedowns, that certainly could be easier on the body. I do expect him to compete because I just don't think, he wants to play golf and be on the yacht all the time. Why expose yourself in your underwear fighting in front of the world if you're not chasing some sort of competitive itch? And I had long said, and Kenny's sick of me saying it on this show, right? Like, the only place he can really scratch the itch that he wants to scratch is in the octagon. And, BKFC or boxing, it's going to be secondary to his immediate goal, which is UFC success. And that's why he came back. And I understand people feel like they got shortchanged and bamboozled, and I think anyone who attended Aspinall and Gone or Pantoja Van feels the same way. But this is the fight business. Things like this happen all the time. And oftentimes the team that wins the NBA championship is the most healthy, and it goes without saying that that's the case in other sports as well. So,
Yep.
Kenny, can I just ask you guys real quickly, because Paddy Pimblett turned in one of the all-time great wins and submissions in UFC history. But, Kenny, when Jon Jones would walk out to compete, right? No matter the layoff, no matter the walkout song, whether it was Angry Johnny or something far more angry, he always had the same look in his eye and that smile and just ready to absolutely commit a fatality if necessary.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first time I can recall seeing Conor not really happy to be there or excited to be there, and almost like, let's get these introductions over with. I didn't know if you had anything to say on that before we kind of move on.
Yeah, it was funny seeing Conor go out there and not have that same level of confidence and perhaps composure. And I think that's what made him special as well. But a lot of that, where does that come from? Is that your mindset that you put out there? In my opinion, it's all bullshit. It comes from your training, how well you trained, the kind of work that you put into it, and also the familiarity with you competing. He has to go back 5 years, and even then, he doesn't want to remember that performance, right? Yeah. So it's tough to kind of have that, and you could see there was doubt, there was it almost seemed like he was almost perturbed with the situation. And John, you're right. It seemed like, hey, let's just get to this fight here. The waiting is the hardest part. And that's what it seemed like to me, that this wasn't the same composed, relaxed Conor who was out there to shine. He seemed like, oh, man, I hope I can do this.
Sorry, Kenny. Ray and I, speaking of composure, we have lost ours because Lucky the dog is being heard from for the first time in 78 episodes. I thought you took Old Yeller out back.
Oh, Old Yeller's going to get taken out back. Trust me.
Throne Sport Coffee, the official coffee of the Anik and Florian podcast. It is functional, better for you coffee made for active on-the-go lifestyles. 150 millis of natural caffeine in every can, 100% of your daily B vitamins. This is not a latte, incidentally, but those things pack 10 grams of protein. I love all the dairy-free options today. We're going with the vanilla bean. You can find Throne Sport Coffee in retailers nationwide, including Casey's, Quick Trip, and Whole Foods, or online on Amazon, Walmart, and their website directly, sportcoffee.com. Throne Sport Coffee. Get going. Keep going. All right.
Look at him. Oh, I could have used a vanilla bean this morning.
Oh, man. I understand. It's in the mail. So, Paddy Pimblett.
Wow, unbelievable.
I think people finally may start to recognize how good he is. Ken Flo, we'll start with you. Benoit Saint-Denis is not the tap and type. No surprise that he didn't tap out. But what a performance for Paddy Pimblett, who always seems ready for prime time. And in terms of the Jon Jones thing, always smiling, always fucking ready to compete and put on a show for everybody.
Boy, was he ready. And he went out there, capitalized exactly when he needed to. Was able to thwart that takedown attempt by Saint-Denis with a guillotine. That's how it started. So it was a variation of a front choke, which only led to a Darce choke, which then went to a Peruvian Darce. He was able to wrap his legs around the back of Benoit Saint-Denis. And once he had that, John, it was absolutely over. I don't care if you're Roger Gracie and you're in that choke with that tightness and that level of connection. You're going to go to sleep or you're going to tap. Benoit Saint-Denis, as you said, is not the tapping kind. And it was over very, very quickly. Paddy he was on point. And the crowd just went absolutely nuts, and he stole the show as a result.
I got to tell you, Pimblett and two guys, Pimblett and Duplessis, I just had wrong from the beginning for whatever reason. I thought they looked awkward. There was something, the chin's up in the air. There was always something, but I'm a believer now, and the kid is 1,000,000% a tough kid, got a good chin. I said it the last time. I think that Gaethje fight, even though it didn't go his way, proved to him a lot. He could take a beating from a guy that could give a beating, and he's not going away easy. His submission skills look point on.
Yeah.
And those two guys, I think I was tricked from the beginning, maybe early, but they both 100% proved me wrong. And now Pimblett looks like he's in a great spot. Like he could pick where he wants to go at this point, I think.
Yeah. You racist against white fighters, Pimblett and Duplessis.
I'm just saying they look. I think it was I think what throws me is the awkwardness of their stand-up. I just couldn't see anything. I don't know, but
Ray,
but both tough as hell.
Before we let you go, I want to bring Brandon Royval on here because this is my favorite fighter, maybe, and we just wanted to congratulate this man today and not take up too much of his time.
Damn,
dude, you're the fucking man. I just want to give Ray a chance to congratulate you before he goes on his way.
Thank you, bro. I had some fun, bro. That was I had a good ass time. So, am I better off this way?
No,
right.
Yeah,
there.
that's great. That's great like that.
Okay, I'll stay here. Yeah, I had a great time, bro. Honestly, sometimes in fighting, bro, like I'll have especially in a brawl, bro, I have so much fun that I was just having a good ass time.
Yeah, I tell you, a well-deserved fight of the night, man. That was unbelievable. What a great job. Really, congrats on that, man. And it took other guy. Yeah, it took another good dance partner, but man, phenomenal fight.
And round 3 might be round of the year too. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, bro. I mean, fuck. Some crazy times, man, for sure.
Hey, Ray, we're going to let you go so we can chop it up with this guy, but we love you. Thank you, and have a great day and a better evening. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you later.
See you, Ray.
See you, Ray. Minute every week here on the Anik and Florian podcast. Brandon Royval, twice now, beating Tatsuro Taira and Lonnie Kavanaugh and suggesting, and I think a lot of the fan base agrees, that those guys are future champions. I mean, dude, your career has been unbelievable. You got at least 2 fights that could go into the Hall of Fame. Congrats on the Fight of the Year award. Like, holy fucking shit, bro.
I know. I think I broke the most record for the most current flyweight bonuses too. So I was really stoked on that. Obviously, Mighty Mouse has that record, but I'm catching up to him. So I think by the end of my career, I could maybe break Mighty Mouse's record before Van smashes them all.
So what is at the core of your ability to stay so present in these critical moments? I know conditioning probably is a big part of it, but not only do you fight for everybody's money and your family, which is growing, but you just will not go away. And I don't know, it seems to me like your conditioning maybe is a big part of that.
Yeah, bro, and obviously not getting rocked and getting hit was part of the game plan. Dude, this is the hardest I've ever game planned for somebody, and I think my cornerman Clay Moss is the greatest, bro. But the hardest I game plan for somebody. But I put it in my head that anytime that there's an exchange or anytime he explodes or anything, that ultimately it's the best for me. And if I got hurt, if I didn't get hurt, I knew that I was going to get hurt in that fight just because how explosive and how dangerous he is and how good technically of a striker he is. That I knew I'm probably going to get hurt at a point in this fight. But as long as I let him go and he hurts me and then I go again. And that's all I cared about. I just wanted to make him work. Because I'm if I can you can only explode so many times in a fight. These explosive fighters, you can only really do it a handful of times a fight before you you end up, it wears on you. So it's just like, my goal is to kind of stay on him, make him explode, and then go on him again, and then try to make him explode again. It's like, if I get him to do that 3 or 4 times around, he's going to tire out a little bit quicker than I will. So that's kind of my game plan, is just like get in his face, make him throw. Hopefully I'm not there for him to hit. Honestly, the first round I thought was the best round I've ever fought in my life, because it's like I was in his face. I was able to make him miss these kicks, which is like so crucial to the game. Is like, he's such a good kicker that it's like I want him to come up short on the kicks, and then I want to be short on the kicks, but I want to be close enough that if he does kick and he's in kicking range, I can just step in for a punch. So it was like I was playing such a fine line of where I want to be in distance and in control of all that. And the first round was the most brilliant round I've had ever in my career, if I'm being honest.
It was an awesome round, man. It was just a full mixed martial arts arsenal. You know, like, first of all, you definitely had success on the feet, as evidence of round 1. But to me, I was really impressed with your ground game, which not only saved you when he got on top, he was looking to hit you. Defensively, you were so good with your legs and your hips. And then ultimately, you got the choke with the rear naked choke. Did you know you were going to have that big of an advantage on the ground heading into that one?
I can grapple my ass off, bro. That's like one thing that, like, it was so funny because I'm with my girl right now, and we're sitting in the urgent care because like I'm getting my foot checked out, and I'm looking through the comments. It's like this dumbass finally decided to use his black belt. And it's like, yeah, I could grapple. I could grapple really well. Obviously against Pantoja, he's probably the best grappler, like one of the best grapplers in the UFC. So it's like that's where people see my grappling game in comparison. But it's like, compared to the rest of the division, I could out grapple all these guys. Like there's not anyone in this division I don't think I can grapple with, including Pantoja, by the way. But yeah, it was one of those. I'm like, I just wanted to make him work, bro. It's like if I can make him work, then I could even out the odds on the feet, you know. And it's like the second round would be a little easier, the third round would be a little easier. The first round I didn't expect to be that like smooth sailing though. I remember walking my corner, and I asked my corner, I'm like, that went too smooth. We'll see what second round brings. Like I was just gonna try to stay locked in, but I'm like, that went way smoother than I expected. Second round might suck, so I try not to lose focus too much. But yeah, I thought for especially for me, bro, and especially like kind of wanted to be in his face. I knew I was gonna risk getting touched. That whole first round, I get hit in the face, you know. So it was one of the better rounds I've ever had, if I'm being honest. Brandon, and then as far as like getting dropped too and being on my back, is like I heard it from a Diaz brother a long time ago. It's like, why would I get up? Like, you know, if I'm trying to get up, I'm gonna end up getting smashed. It's like my ground game on my back is so good that like, you know, I've wasted years of getting good on my back where I shouldn't have been MMA, but now it's like it saves me if I get dropped. And it's like, okay, well, you got to deal with the barrage of everything, and I'm still throwing up submissions in the meanwhile, you know.
It was awesome to see, man. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah, it's cool.
Brandon Royval with us live on the Anik Florian Podcast. We'll let you go in a couple minutes. So you have a baby on the way as well. Is that true?
Yeah, I got a baby boy coming in a couple months. Yeah, Lennox.
Well, congratulations on that.
Yeah, I'm excited, bro. He can watch the tail end of my career, you know.
Yeah. So, and you know, we did shout out the Denver Dream Center on the broadcast. It was pretty cool to see the UFC production crew chronicle all the work you've done with them, and I know they'll be excited to probably see you here in the next few days. But man, you know, you're a promoter's dream, so much so you call out a Sual Mabayev, which I think makes sense for a main event, right? But you certainly could have gone title fight clamoring after a performance like this. What is it about that fight that made you want to sort of do the matchmaker's work for them?
Just being realistic. If I'm being realistic, I'm not getting a title shot next, and I'm everyone in front of me either beat me or I've already fought, you know. So it's like I beat Tatsuro, he's ahead of me for some reason, and then I lost to Cabe, Van, and Pantoja, and it's like those are the only other guys that are ahead of me. So it's like I had to fight Tatsuro again, which I really wouldn't want to do because we train together. So it's like something I don't want to do. Or I fight someone behind me, and the options pretty much is Sual Mabayev, who's on a winning streak right now. So it's like I just figured it was the best call out. Honestly, dude, I've been fighting 3 back-to-back of the best strikers in the division, and then 2 of them I would say are the hardest hitting in the division. And it's like I just want a grappler too, bro. If I can go against a grappler, I mean, it'll just say like, dude, these camps with strikers are the hardest things. Like, dude, after practice every day, I would have someone kick me 100 times, and I just practice blocking and kick passing over, practice blocking and kick passing over. And then part of the Loney Kavanaugh's thing is like he'll throw a kick and he'll throw a check hook right behind it, and like that's one of his biggest knockout punches. So it's like I'd practice blocking a kick and then getting my hand right back up to like doing it. So it's like just repetitions, bro. Like by the end of my camp, I would say we stopped camp 3 weeks early as far as like hard sparring and stuff. Like I couldn't check a kick without my leg being so beat up, or if I got my arm kicked, it was so beat up. So I was like we virtually had to stop practicing pretty early on because it's like how hard we prepared for this fight, how hard I had my training partners kick me. I have a national kickboxer, Ali Weiss, I trained with every day, and just having him kick me. And it's not like I'm fighting flyweights. I'm fighting like 145ers, all the above. So it's like I'm training with, I got trained with Cory and Ali Weiss and Clay Mata, who are, not flyweights. It was actually insane. When he kicked me, I was like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Like I remember thinking in my head, I'm like, I was fucking getting ripped on by these 145 kickboxers, so it was nice.
Well, I'll leave you with this. We're fans at our core, and we go back to the hotel room and talk about these fights. And my twin brother was like, they could maybe build a BMF fight around Brandon, and it would seem to me that with all you guys at 25 and 35, and in terms of must-see television, like, I mean, every time you're out there, it's must-see TV, I don't know, man. It feels like there are 4 number 1 contenders at 25, so I don't know. Maybe I was anti-BMF at first, but now I feel like with all the flyweights and bantamweights that are badasses, I don't know, man. I'd love to see you get that opportunity, but you're just doing incredible things, and we wanted to congratulate you more than anything else today. So.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you guys for everything, man. And congratulations on your award. That was really sick to watch you go up and grab that.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, man. It was a cool week. Last week was a cool week, man. I had a lot of fun, and bro, I've never had so much fun in a fight. Even though my cornerman, wisely against some of what my cornerman wants me to do half the time, but man, I had a lot of fun out there, and I had a smile on my face the whole entire time. There was a point where I got dropped, and I was like, so be it. I don't even care. Like that was literally when I walked out there. That was my motto. My mantra that I was saying was just like, so be it. I don't care what happens to me. I'm gonna go put on a fight, and I'm gonna try to masterfully put out this game plan.
Well, you did it, man. Masterfully.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Congratulations, of course, on the upcoming child, and we'll see you soon, man, on the road.
Thank you guys for everything, man. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
Man.
Congrats, man.
Brandon Raw Dog Royval with us here on the Anik and Florian Podcast, back-to-back weeks. First guest in the history of the show to join us on back-to-back weeks. I just absolutely needed to talk to him again. I mean, it is sort of interesting to talk to a fighter on this show or in a fighter meeting and then have them go out and do something just so epic. I mean, and I know how you feel about Lonnie, right? And I mean, you hear what he says about, the hardest he's ever game planned, right? I mean, he was on Kavanaugh's email list, like no stone unfucking turned.
Absolutely. He looked so locked in. That was for sure. And even him just talking about it leading up to the fight, the kind of training he was doing, training with Cory, bringing all these guys in, you knew he was going to be ready. And man, Lonnie was on that night, but Royval was just better, period. Just what a performance, dude. It was amazing.
And when Royval says Kavanaugh future champ, Tyra future champ, like Kenny, I feel like this division has 5 guys that are good enough to be the champion right now. Am I crazy?
No, the division has never been stronger. It's so cool to see the level go up like it has over the last few years. There's so many guys, and it's not just like varying styles that are tough. It's like they are good everywhere, man. Like these little dudes are just so fun to watch, and it's exciting. And that's what makes it so impressive to see guys like Van and Pantoja at the top, because they are going through killers, man. And congratulations on your award, dude.
Thank you.
That was so cool to see. Obviously, very well deserved.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. I just want to say real quick, maybe we'll talk about the award later, but Joshua Van might very well be the best of all of those guys. He's the champion right now, and he's certainly not getting worse, right? But can you think of any other division, right? Like Tyra's unbelievable, absolutely on any given Saturday night, I think, with respect, can beat Joshua Van, certainly Pantoja, right? So that's 3, right? Kavanaugh, Royval. I'm sure there's a name I'm forgetting. I mean, Charles Johnson has wins over a couple of these guys, Kavanaugh and Van. Is there any other division that can lay claim to 4 or 5 guys, number one contenders type, maybe 70. But
yeah, I mean, gosh. Yeah, I mean, that division's nuts, man. It's really, really is. Yeah. And it's great to see Royval, to have that, because I think the one thing that was missing in his game was a really dialed in strategic approach. And now that he has that, he can get back to the top, man. He could get that belt if he continues with that, for sure.
All right, we got RJ Clifford coming up in a few minutes. Quickly, this from GLD, though. And you know how baseball players get super particular about their gear, like gloves got to fit right, the cleats, the bat. Well, when you find something you love, it becomes part of your everyday lineup. That's how I feel about my chain from GLD. GLD makes the kind of pieces that become part of your everyday lineup, not something you wear just once in a while. Just clean, quality jewelry that instantly upgrades your fit the second you throw it on. Once you add a GLD chain to your rotation, I'm telling you, it's game over. And it's not the cheap stuff, obviously. Real gold. Every stone is hand set. The quality's on a completely different level. You can see it immediately, and you can definitely feel it when you put it on. If you are a baseball fan, by the way, and this speaks to the NFL too, but one of the coolest parts of the GLD lineup, the officially licensed MLB collection, pendants, chains, bracelets, even shoelace charms featuring official team logos. And it's not just hype. GLD has over 2 million customers, more than 50,000 five-star reviews, and has been worn by names like Justin Bieber, Malik Neighbors, Micah Parsons, and plenty more. By the way, one of my daughter's friends said I look like Justin Bieber with my sunglasses on. I will take that every day of the week at 48. Best part, though, about GLD, every single piece guaranteed for life unless you leave it in your hotel room, like I did this past weekend in Las Vegas. True story. But if you're trying to level up your style this summer, you just want a clean way to rep your team this season, GLD is the move. So level up your lineup with GLD for a limited time only. New customers getting an insane deal here. Use code AFPOD to get 40% off at GLD.com. That's 40% off with code AFPOD at GLD.com. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Kindly support our show and tell them the Anik and Florian podcast sent you. Kenny, Paddy Pimblett, bro. Paddy Pimblett. I know people are sick of me saying that Joe Silva tried to sign him when he was 21 and he could have come to the UFC at 23, but he wanted to come as the proper athlete. But relative to who I know him to be, the martial artist, the hard worker, the public perception has been way off, right? People love the persona, rightfully so. He's a master orator without any notes, but people lean into him eating donuts after the fight and they don't realize what a problem he is. Benoit Saint-Denis was acutely aware of just how big a problem this was. And, you got to be really careful with this, man, dry or otherwise. Let's actually go 3 wide. It looks like Randall is ready. It's time for Rated RJ.
It is rated TV MALV and contains strong language and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
This is Rated R with RJ Clifford.
No way! The fighting, that's the fun part. It's like Hansel from Zoolander, just so fucking hot right now, dude. Like, well, think about it. Like,
I don't know who he is. I just know he's a wrestler. I, Googled him.
Only on the Anik and Florian podcast.
All right, we are going to try to get RJ ready. Can you hear me or no?
I gotcha. Technical difficulties be damned.
All right. Well, it's great to see you. I do want to give Kenny 30 seconds to respond to what I just said about Paddy Pimblett because, man, I mean, this guy's on a meteor. If he becomes a champion, those twins are going to have millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah, man. Listen, Benoit Saint-Denis is a fantastic grappler. That's the strongest part of his game. And Paddy Pimblett made him look like a white belt out there. It showed how potent he is as a finisher, as a submission artist. And it's going to get a lot of people to kind of think twice about facing someone like Paddy Pimblett in the future. And, I mean, talk about taking advantage of that opportunity. Again, stealing the show on that Conor McGregor card was exactly what he needed coming off a loss against Gaethje, which also is just looking better and better with each day.
RJ, before we get your thoughts on Conor McGregor, what were your expectations for Pimblett Saint-Denis relative to how it played out?
Well, as a product of the California public education system, I'm a very slow learner. And I thought forever that Paddy Pimblett was the beneficiary of some hype and some some matchmaking. The star power was there, and the UFC knows what they're doing with star power. I thought, okay, he's kind of benefiting from this a little bit. So I have been very slow to get on the Paddy Pimblett bandwagon, and I'm happy to be the bartender for that bandwagon moving forward because he looked absolutely fantastic. I mean, doing basically like the Charles Oliveira Anaconda Peruvian necktie, but darsing it and rolling through and doing it in like a minute. It was just absolutely beautiful. I thought he beat Benoit Saint-Denis, but I thought he'd have to lean on just kind of like a war of attrition and kind of like wait him out. He's more durable. I thought that was how he was going to win, but now he's winning with style points and looking great. And I gotta open my eyes, man. I gotta stop being so I guess dumb.
Well, and I do think that formative years and life experience can actually play into not just DNA, but the fight game, right? I mean, it's a generalization to say Scousers don't get knocked out. I'm sure I could find a Liverpudlian twitching on the canvas after a mixed martial arts contest. But, bro, he can lean on all the toughness in the world, the heart, the commitment. I understand he's 1-1 in his last 2, RJ, but I feel really strong that Paddy Pimblett's going to find himself at an undisputed lightweight title fight before all said and done.
Fighting like life is all about timing, and you've got obviously his loss to Justin Gaethje aged like fine wine, right? And then you've got the rest of the division kind of up there in age, right? Lightweight is, I think, historically been the best weight class in the world. Kenny, I know you agree. But they're all the best guys are on the other side of 30 and kind of, you can only fight for so long. And then you got Paddy Pimblett with all the momentum in the world. Whether it's title shot or like, BMF fights, like it's going to be star making, and he's going to be there because he earned it, not just because he's got the haircut and the dance and all that. He's he's gotten the W's and stacked the correct bodies. So, yeah, man, I'm all in now, pushing the chips in.
Yeah, that's interesting because Longo, and I'm trying to be nicer to him on the program, but he said that Paddy won the lotto. And here I'm thinking he earned it, Yeah. He didn't win any lottery. I mean, certainly maximized the showcase. All right. Conor McGregor, where were you when this went down, and what are your thoughts?
I was in the truck working on the desk show with Fitz, Weidman, Bisping, and Dominic. And I think the UFC jinxed Conor McGregor by putting those 3 on the desk. Like, is there a better trio to discuss debilitating MMA injuries than Chris Weidman, Michael Bisping, Dominic Cruz? Fitz is like, all right, guys, can you put yourself in his shoes with the experience? And they're all like, yeah, I can. I could put myself in his shoes, in his casts, in his crutches. Yeah, I'm very aware of what that's like. And yeah, that sucked, man. And it's a shame because UFC 329 was fucking fireworks. Yeah. It was such a great night of mixed martial arts. I think it tied the record for most finishes in a UFC. You got Gable Stevenson's debut, Robert Whittaker's debut at 205. Paddy Pimblett, like we mentioned. You just had Royval on with his banger. Like, it was just a great night of fights, but fairly or not, every main event kind of paints the picture of how a show's going to, how a fight card is judged. And that's how it's going to be judged, with Conor blowing out his knee in the first strike. And everyone's like, why would he throw that kick out of the gate? That's so dumb. It's like, have you ever seen a Conor McGregor fight? He opens every fight with like a hook kick or a spinning back kick or something. That's how he always fights. He always does this. And so it's just a matter of like all the conspiracy theories. It's like, yeah, that's what happens when a metric shit ton of casuals watch a combat sports event.
Dude.
You name me one enormous fight card where people didn't think someone threw a fight. Like literally every Kimbo Slice fight, every Floyd Mayweather fight, every Canelo, there's like someone's like the fix is in, because they show up for 45 minutes, watch one fight card, and go back to watching baseball or soccer, whatever they do.
I'm not going to name any names, but the speculation out there, and then people talking in a factual tone saying, well, he made $35 million. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you know not of what you speak. And my son was wondering, like, what do I say to this kid who's, like, not being nice? And I say, and you can't tell him to shut the fuck up, Hunter. So say, you know not of what you speak, These fucking idiots all over the place, man.
Rain goes down, dogs chase cats, And idiots have conspiracy theories for every casual fan every time there's a big event. You can see it coming.
Most first-round finishes in UFC history. Of course, that includes Max Holloway against Conor McGregor. So we've all talked about just how you expose yourself as a pro fighter. You know, you're out there in your underwear, essentially fighting for the world to save for their entertainment. And Conor McGregor certainly didn't need to do this, right? But he would be probably the first to tell you that his MMA legacy to him feels incomplete. Now he's talking about maybe honoring the last fight on his contract on whatever timeline, and who knows what his competitive future holds, RJ. But it would seem to me that he's going to be back in the UFC on whatever timeline. And I'm just curious what you think about that reality.
Couple things. I think you would absolutely feel incomplete after that immediately, right? You know, all of my sporting careers I've ever had, whether it was high school football, hockey, MMA, college wrestling, I always felt incomplete. Some would say because I sucked at those. Others would say that's how everyone feels about their legacies. But, Conor McGregor, like, how can you say like you feel incomplete when you've shattered every business record, first two simultaneous champion? But that's what made him great, is that he thinks he should be 100-0 and, break every other record and everything that there is. So I think that's there. Obviously, the one fight left on his contract, I think that absolutely plays a role in him wanting to fight again. There's a business side to this that Conor has mastered, and I think that's a primary element to this. What that next fight looks like, there's tons of options, and there's going to be tons of interest. I remember 5 years ago when he broke his leg against Dustin Poirier, everyone's like, oh, I don't want to see Conor fight again. No, his draw is gone. No one cares anymore. 5 years later, he shatters the gate record. Like, the demand, like, every single time Floyd Mayweather fought, and he would just like jab, dip, and turn his back, and everyone got pissed off. He spent $100 on the pay-per-view. Like, I'm over him. I'm never watching Floyd again. 9 months later, he sells 1 million pay-per-view buys, right? Like, you are all lying when you say, I'm done with Conor. I don't want to watch him anymore. You're lying. When he comes back, when he probably comes back, it's going to be bonkers.
What do you think about Conor the fighter after this? Because obviously a huge component, as we were talking about, is his mind game. But when you experience like a bunch of these unfortunate things over and over and over again, what do you think this does to Conor's mindset as he, I guess, wants to finish out this contract here?
Every big name fighter has this transition from when they go from trying to fight for a title or defending my title or being the best fighter that I can to what's something a little different and weird, or like maybe a little off to the side a little bit. Like I remember Anthony Smith saying, like, he's like, now he's doing bare knuckle MMA. And he's like, I would have made, like, oh, is it just for the money, right? You retired of the UFC. He's like, I would have made more money fighting in the UFC. But in the UFC, it is just the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You have the best night of your life in that cage, and Sunday morning, everyone's trying to fight you, and it's on to the next one, and you're just like, there's just cortisol running through your system. Kenny, your next fight's going to be hard. It's going to come when you're told. At some point, you're like, let me do some novelty boxing. Let me do something little, like, right, let me use my athletic ability. Let me scratch that competitive itch. But how about you just take me out of the trenches for a little bit? I feel like the next fight for Conor will be a version of that. Whether it is, I don't want it to be, whether it is boxing again, or I don't even know what that looked like. Maybe like a Nate Diaz trilogy is kind of like that, right? They both look terrible in their last fights. Something along, I think that's probably what Conor's going to do next, is not give me a fight that's going to get me in title contention. It's give me something kind of fun with like a Salt Bay of spectacle on it. Something I think along those lines.
Would you rather see him fight Nate Diaz than rematch Floyd Mayweather in a boxing setting? Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't think Dana would really have an appetite to promote McGregor Mayweather too.
The smart promotional thing for the UFC to do is to have Conor fight Paddy Pimblett. That's the smart promotional thing. The young eat the old in combat sports, right? If I kill you, I become you. And that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're older, you're a star. It's your job to take on the next young generation of fighters and either say, sorry, whippersnapper, your time isn't yet, or if I kill you, I become you, Highlander style. right? It's like that's what the UFC should do, but obviously Conor has, more power in the matchmaking, and he can kind of cut his own path a little bit. So we'll see what the UFC does. We'll see what Conor wants to do. It's Conor McGregor, man. There's 100 different directions he can go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they were going to do that, they would probably do that in this fight coming back after 5 years, and not do that in the last fight, because there's always the threat. If I'm a promotion, I'm just, thinking as a promoter, if he goes somewhere else, I want to lower the stock if I can. If that's going to be his last fight, I'm going to give him another guy on the level of a Max Holloway. Yeah. And I think if the UFC was going to do that, I think they probably would have done that here in this fight. Being away for 5 years and you give him Max Holloway, they're not doing him any favors. And if it's a last fight potential thing, I think it's in the best interest of the organization. I'm thinking like them to, if I want the best value for Conor, if I am going to re-sign him, well, I'm going to give them a reason for me to pay him less, or if he goes somewhere else, to make him less appealing to the market at large.
For sure. And that's why, they try to give Nick Diaz Khamzat Chimaev, right? For his last fight on his contract, right? Like, obviously didn't go that way, and kind of blew up in their face, get a Tony Ferguson win before he goes into free agency. But if you don't make Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor trilogy in the UFC, the second he's a free agent, 7 seconds later, that fight is signed somewhere else. Like, that is the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. Yeah. Netflix or somebody's going to sign that fight. Like, you could not sign that fight fast enough the second Conor becomes a free agent.
And I think some people might argue the best thing for Conor McGregor would be to have to lock in to such an extent that he would have to fight at 156 pounds. Like, I don't know that you fight Paddy Pimblett at 70. That just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, and the Michael Chandler ship has sailed so far away at this point in time.
Don't make the Chandler fight, please. No.
Just tease it for 6 months and drive Chandler nuts again. That would be just cruel.
Chandler will be there as the backup weigh-in guy. Yeah, he will.
So we are scheduled to be joined by King Green here shortly, and I will keep RJ on for a second to congratulate his fellow Californian, if that's okay. But I just wanted to ask you guys quickly about Gable Steveson. We will have some other UFC 329 stuff later in the program, but I thought he really handled these 2.5 minutes pretty well. RJ, we'll start to you, and Kenny, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well.
Looked fantastic. I thought DC put it perfectly on the broadcast when he's like, a lot of wrestlers are afraid of the fire. They'll have the skills, they'll have the technique, they'll be physically ready, the mindset's ready, but going from shooting double legs to doing anything whilst having punches thrown at you is a complete, like, I never got over it, right? It just changes everything, which is why so many great athletes can't fight. He seems super comfortable under fire. And I'll tell you what, man, like Ellison, he was not there to roll over, dude. Like, I thought he showed more fight than Bo Nichols' like first 5 opponents put together. Like, and this isn't a knock on Bo. It's just like those guys lost before they were in the octagon. Ellison was there, and he landed, and he looked absolutely fantastic. I thought he looked good. Yeah. Just Gable Steveson, I think, is as advertised so far. You can see that the John Jones rub on him, switching stances, front kicks, oblique kicks. It's like,
dude,
you can tell John Jones, Gibson, have been working on him, and I thought he was mentally looked great. And he shot one shot, and that was it. And I think Kenny, I think there's as advertised.
Hey, Kenny, I'm going to get your thoughts on Gable later because we have King Green. So let's go 4 wide. We had to congratulate this guy. I just needed 5 minutes to congratulate King Green. Bro, enjoying the fruits of his labor. My man.
Vegetables of his labor.
I mean, what a 2026 it has been for you, bro.
Yeah, busy. Thank you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. RJ, I don't know if you have anything to say to King as parting shot.
Just looked absolutely fantastic. I remember watching you wrestling in high school, Bobby, or back when you were Bobby. And the athleticism was apparent then, and then it just keeps getting better and better and better. And I'll do Anik the favor because he's dying to know what's in that descriptively, so I'll be the one that asks so he doesn't have to. Can you tell me precisely what brand you got going on there? I'm curious.
Brand? Wait.
Yes.
Oh, indica, something for pain. I just been in a fucking war, so some shit for pain. I don't drink, you know what I mean? I don't really party or anything like that. This is the only thing I have, and I only have a little bit of time I can smoke before I have to get back serious again.
Yeah. RJ, thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you next Monday. My man.
Thanks, guys. Later.
See you, RJ.
All right, so King Green could have three $300,000 bonuses already in 2026, but certainly got one for the win over Terrence McKinney. Bro, I mean, we're sitting there trying to call that fight, and to see you do what you do and spin that outcome on a dime, just so much respect for your whole body of work. But what was it like for you down the stretch of that first round?
God, what do you got next with me, like, on this journey? Like, Kenny Florian's been through some shit where he can understand. It's like, some fight you got this fight you got this. And you don't imagine it until you're fucking there, And so, like, maybe you're bloody this one. Maybe you didn't bring blood, but maybe you fought out of a choke this one, And so you have different experiences out of each fight, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting in the back, I'm like, fuck, what am I going to get this one? And now the fight-wise. What'd you say, guys?
No, I was just laughing, right? Like, what is
What was
this
that?
one going to bring me?
Man, and so the whole time I'm kind of like chill, relax. This kid is coming after me, He's coming with everything. But what I want to explain to people is, like, when I'm hanging out after one of my buddies like, man, he was beating your ass. He was fighting and beating your ass, And so I'm like, what? So I haven't seen the fight. Now I've actually seen the fight. I'm like, interesting. The interesting thing about it is, like, motherfuckers don't understand exactly fighting. They really don't. I was trying to explain this to Terrence before the fight, but I don't know if he caught the shit. I was like, hey, I don't know if you're fighting or if you're know what you're doing or if you're just fighting. There's a difference between the two. And I kept trying to explain that to him. And so now that I'm watching the fight back again, like, people were saying he was beating my ass, but it's great. Make shot one.
We're losing him, Johnny. You there,
we'll
King?
Try to reconnect with King Green. Oh, that looks good. I wish he could actually pass the joint through the screen. All right, well, we will re-effort King Green. But, dude, I mean, it was shades of, like, Beneil Dariush, Drakkar Close, where you're sort of – Cody just – Nate wrote his Wi-Fi is high. Yes. But, where you feel like you're calling it Terrence McKinney. I think I said on the broadcast, I was about to say it looks like Green's going to survive the round, and then McKinney doesn't survive the round. It was totally insane.
Dude, just call him the comeback king. That was just insane. Like, even when he was in that tough spot, taking shots from a horrible position, he was talking trash, and you kind of had this belief, like, I think King's gonna make it out of here. Like, he wants it. And dude, it's all about making those moments count, and that's where that veteranship of King Green came in. And he was able to capitalize in that moment where Terrence wasn't. And King made the most of those few seconds that he had and took him out. It was amazing.
King, you got us?
I'm back, guys?
Oh, loud.
Okay. Well, am I in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry my fucking internet is fucking crappy over here, guys. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
No worries.
So did you guys miss? I don't know where we cut out. If we missed anything in there.
I want to hear what you have to say again, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Okay, I'm here for you all day, John. You're my guy. You know what I mean, Kenny? You put war in. Like, I don't even like to do interviews like that unless I know the guys and I know you guys. So You're worth my time, and I'm gonna give you my time and energy. You know what I'm saying? And
Thank
so,
you.
like I was saying, so back to the fight. Back to the fight. What I'm saying is this: is I got to look at the fight because people were saying he's whipping my ass. So I'm like, oh yeah, he's whipping my ass. Okay, let me see. Watch the fight. And now, according to the fight, I was making him miss like about 5 of his shots that he would land a power shot. And according to that, like I'm looking at the numbers, if you make somebody miss 5 power shots and they land a 6, man, we're right on schedule to you blowing your fucking tank, you know? And so it's right on schedule. Everything's going right as planned. Like people are saying like, oh, he's having the best of the fight, but it's like, you got to understand, like, I understand fighting differently, you know, where I'm making him fight, and I'm making him shoot these shots. Let's do it this way. You guys ready for this? Don't you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, you ready for this? Check this out. All right, fighting is like this. Fighting is like, all right, John, you know how to dance? You get a girl on the dance floor, you dance with her?
Yeah, of course. I got rhythm. I mean, I've always wanted to be.
Okay, check this out. Okay, check this out. When you dancing with a girl, I just take my girl dancing. It's the first time we dance together. So now we're dancing together, and she like maybe move fast or I'm moving slow, and we're kind of like bumping knees a little bit. You kind of figuring out for the first time of the dance. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out each other's like little motions, and then finally like we just got a little groove, and now we're like, okay, this is how we groove, you know?
Yeah.
And so the same thing is with fighting. Same thing with fighting. It's like people don't understand. It's like I always get caught at the beginning, like because I'm still figuring out that rhythm. You know, I'm still figuring out how he moves, how he does this. You know, oh, okay, cool. Like, okay, now once I figured you out, but I'm making him miss every 5 shots, and he's letting 6. You know? So with that, it's going right up the schedule. People don't think I want to think. Fighting. So that I'm not and I'm different punches. Fat punches, there's whole punches, they're in the middle. You got to change these punches for the right time. Like, you get where I know your load go and tell them not turn my numbers up. So, around speed.
We're catching every other word. If it was there, we're catching every other word.
It sucks.
Champ, your signal is not great, but we really just wanted to congratulate the fuck out of you and tell you to enjoy everything that you have accomplished. I know oftentimes it's like on to the next right away, but, you know, anyone who questioned us bringing up the BMF belt a week ago, what do they have to say now? You know, what do they have to fucking say now? You know?
Man, my thing is this. Now everybody's calling me out. Everybody wants to fight now.
Yeah.
Dan Hooker says he wants to fight. I'm like, oh, yeah, Dan, you want to fight? Okay, I accept, you know. I'm going to teach you something else. Ready for this one, John?
Yeah.
Check this. In this war, there is, and you understand this, Kenny, there's different people that are, I will call them hunters. We're all hunters. And we're trying to kill each other. But they'll see a wounded animal, and then all the guys want to jump him. They think he's wounded. They see all this, and they go, oh, I got a wounded. That's damage. And they, oh, if he fights again fast, oh, he'll still have some damage. He'll be a weakened animal, you know? But they were calling me out at number 3 when I was on the 3-win streak. They didn't say anything then. But they're like, now, after this fight, oh, we're going to go get him now. Yeah. And so they're going and they're hunting. And now they cut into a cave and they try to go hunt me. But for all this, and now I'm going to get their ass. They think that they got a weak animal. You know? It's like, I know what you're doing. You're like, you damage. Now the perfect time to fight me now. You know what I'm saying? And watch, you're going to fucking sleep on it and I'm going to get this.
Well, congratulations, dude. Whether it's a main event, whatever it is, it's just an absolute honor to watch you work. I'm going to go get me some King Green merchandise, and I think I'm probably going to go to the dispensary right after the show as well. You got me, Jones. Thank you, my man.
John. Yeah, please grab my shorts, brother. I'm going to sign them. I'm going to sign them for you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. It'll be amazing. That's good.
I'm on it, my
You're the man,
Thank you.
dude. Congrats.
Thank you for the time. King Green with us here on the Anik and Florian podcast. It's absolutely incredible, Kenny. When we were hosting MMA Live in 2008 on ESPN, he was fighting, and he's doing it at such a high level. He's coming up on 40 professional MMA wins, and he's contributed a lot to his community, a lot to the sport, and got to feel really good for him to be sitting here on a Monday smoking a fucking blunt.
It's great to see him as successful as he is, and to do it with such a unique fighting style and, able to, understand the game like he does. It's great, man. And he has accomplished so much and overcome so much. And King Green's the man, dude.
All right. Congratulations to King Green. Of course, we congratulate Mario Bautista. Win over Cory Sandhagen, right? And certainly.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, what do you have to say about that fight before I give you my 2 cents?
Mario is a problem, continues to get better. Sandhagen, he is so good in every single aspect, and Bautista could not afford to make any mistakes in any part of that fight. And he didn't. He was the one who capitalized on the mistakes of Sandhagen, and just looked phenomenal, man, everywhere. So this was easily one of the biggest wins of his career as far as showing his full mixed martial arts arsenal. And we knew it was impressive, but to do that and look that good against someone like Cory Sandhagen, who's been around the game for a long time, who's a true martial artist, who is also a tough-ass fighter as well, who will not go away. Bautista, really impressed with that win, man.
He's got the Battleborn tattoo for being born in the state of Nevada. We've had that conversation on the Anik and Florian podcast. I think he's got to go full throttle with the Battleborn nickname and really try to own Vegas. And, I mean, I thought the only part of the fight that Bautista sort of got away from the game plan was early in that round after the injury, where he was targeting it to such an extent that maybe, but.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we congratulate Bautista. That's a huge win, and this will be a tough pill for Sandhagen to swallow, certainly. But, he's got a kid on the way, has acknowledged only having 3 or 4 more years left, and perhaps the ship has now sailed for Sandhagen when it comes to being the undisputed champion. We shall see. Want to get your thoughts on Gable Steveson, if I could.
Yes, so first of all, this guy is a tremendous athlete. He's a world-class athlete for a reason, and that was evident in how quickly he's making gains with his striking. Like, offensively, he was extremely impressive and certainly not scared of standing up with a dangerous heavyweight. Those are all excellent signs. What was concerning was because there was a couple times where I'm like, am I going to cash this $50 bet on?
Well, right.
Yeah, but he defensively was getting hit with some shots that he probably shouldn't have. But I do think to see that level of experimentation, because that's what it is in the game, in the fight game sometimes, of like, hey, how do I develop my striking if I'm not doing it during an actual fight? We all know he can take people down and beat them on the ground with ground and pound and things like that and positioning. But to go out there and have that level of comfort to stand up and try new things is a great sign, because that's only going to make him better moving forward. Defensively, does he need to be better? Yeah, absolutely. But to learn striking that quickly and look that good and know how to connect on a punch with that level of power and precision, I was really impressed with this guy. He's gonna be a champ for sure.
Yeah, I do believe that if he is long for this game, Gable Steveson will be the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion at some point in time. I really have that much belief in that young man. Robert Whittaker makes good on the light heavyweight debut. Ken Flo, it was interesting in our fighter meeting. He sort of intimated that last couple camps at middleweight, he's gotten as high to start as like 230 pounds.
Whoa.
And, yeah, I mean, he just, as he gets older, right, I think all of us can speak to this, it's harder to, sometimes you just naturally put on more weight, even if you're doing a lot of the same things. But I thought Whittaker looked great. I thought it was also pretty revealing in our fighter meeting that he said, he's not going to fight any of the city kickboxing guys who are now teammates. So even if you wanted to think about a quick progression for Whittaker at 205, not going to fight Carlos Ulberg, who's the champion right now. But division's pretty wide open, and Whittaker is going to factor in this mix in some way.
Well, I think it was a nice test to go against one of the larger 205 pounders in that division in Krylov and test out, how your body's going to work at that weight, how you're going to be able to carry that weight, how you're going to take punches of a guy that size and to deal with that height disparity. And I thought he answered the call extremely well. I think round one, maybe I was unsure of how this was going to play out, but he only got stronger and better as the fight went on. He got his rhythm. He got the timing of Krylov and was landing shot after shot, whether it was the left hook or the backhand. He was landing quite well, and the speed advantage for him was working very well for him. I thought his footwork was just better. He's not moving perhaps footwork wise the way he was at 185 or 170, of course, but he still is going to have that speed advantage and that footwork advantage if he continues to develop that and get used to moving that weight around his own weight and the other opponent's weight. I think he's going to be just fine and could potentially make a run, but it's not over for Whitaker right now. I think he's continuing to develop. I think if he stays on that path, he could do some things in that division.
Yep. We also congratulate Adrian Yanez, big TKO of Cody Garbrandt, Luke Riley, Wong Tong, Damian Pinos. Did you see him knock out Cesar Almeida by chance?
I did not see that one. Yeah.
So it's interesting, right? And I invoked the names Ateba Gautier and Baisungur Susurkayev into the conversation at some point when Damian Pinos was fighting, because we have all of these middleweights that are super highly touted in their own right, and maybe they're outside the top 30 right now. And sure enough, Damian Pinos goes out with a clean knockout of the credentialed striker Cesar Almeida and called for Baisungur Susurkayev. So maybe that's a fight that they make, maybe not. But yeah, amazing night at UFC 329. And anyone who's asking if it's more festive and bigger and more chaotic and crazier and more dynamic when Conor McGregor is fighting, absolutely. It's just different when Conor fights. There have been so many big fight weeks since Conor has fought. UFC Freedom 250 is on an island by itself, right? But since Conor fought in 2021, UFC 300, so many different big shows in big markets, and there's just nothing quite like a Conor McGregor fight week, even if we didn't feel the presence from the Irish fans as we have felt in the past. All right. UFC's in a stretch, I think, of 3 straight months without a bye week, so we do have some predictions coming up on UFC Fight Night, du Plessis versus Usman. Not sure if anybody else out there is betting the World Cup like me, but the Cup is down to its final matches, and DraftKings has you covered for every single one. The DraftKings app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets, bringing the game straight to your fingertips wherever you are. New DraftKings customers, we got you covered. Sign up with code AFPOD. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code AFPOD in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. Connecticut, 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois, 21 plus, void in Canada. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Availability varies. Bet to get bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Trade to get $50 in predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Issued every 7 days via click to claim for 21 days. One non-withdrawable reward redeemable predictions offer void New York ends July 19th. Terms at dkng.co/audio. All right. UFC Freedom 250. The highest of highs. Conor McGregor's injury. As low as it gets. I didn't even know what to say when all of that was happening, right? You know you're charged with providing the soundtrack at that point in time, but gosh, man. I mean, I guess calling like a leg getting shattered is harder, but I'm just trying to come up with the words, and finally I think the word sad. It just was like, what were you doing? Were you just sitting down to watch the fight live, right? And
I couldn't believe it, and I got almost sick to my stomach just when he landed and kind of almost collapsed. I was like,
dude.
Okay, did he slip? And then the second time when he fell, I was like, no, this fight is over, and I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now. And, for you especially, John, it's like, it's not like it happened even at the end of round one. You're talking about just to start the fight, this happened. So what the hell are you supposed to say? And this is such a highly anticipated main event with, the biggest star in mixed martial arts history, and it's going down like that. it is so tough. I don't want to say like it's tougher for you guys than it is for Conor McGregor, but as a commentator, to do your job at that point, you're like, this is why everyone's here, and it's over. Like, gosh, it's tough.
Yeah, I think Sean O'Malley has probably the most relatable video out there. Just the pure horror, combined with sadness. But we wish Conor McGregor a speedy recovery. And I am scheduled to play in Max Holloway's inaugural golf tournament next Monday, July 20th. Actually, Jason Anik will be filling in on the Anik and Florian podcast next week. I will be on the show. I just don't know in what form. Maybe I'll be King Green in this thing, smoking a fucking L from Hawaii, right? But how about Max going into this golf tournament, the first that he has had, without a scratch, right? I think he was saying, like, normally my ankles hurt even just after a couple minutes, so you got to feel good for Holloway in that regard.
Yeah. Oh, he's been in so many wars, and I don't think he's doing badly in the financial department at all. But to make that amount of money in a short amount of time, if there's one guy who deserves that, Max has put the hours in, man. He deserves it. Yeah.
Cody's suggesting that the Anik and Florian podcast should sign King Green if he figures out that Wi-Fi. I would actually be on board for that. I don't know if he would commit to every Monday, but I would absolutely. 5 minutes with the King,
He's the man. Yeah.
Every week. I could get behind it. All right. Couple quick predictions, Ken Flo. So in the middleweight division, Christian Leroy Duncan, minus 325 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. That's a big number against Jared Cannonier, who is plus 260. CLD's won 4 in a row, living up to all the hype that Sean Sheehan laid at his feet here on the Anik and Florian podcast, right? CLD's won 4 in a row, 6-7 overall, 2 of the last 3 wins by knockout, and now he draws the former world title challenger Cannonier in the co-main event this weekend in Oklahoma City. Ken Flo, what say you?
Cannonier has a ton of experience. He's still going to be very dangerous. I think he's pretty good everywhere. And I think for CLD, we've always seen the talent. We've seen the athleticism. That has always been apparent. But the consistency and the fight, like the in-fight decision-making, was suspect sometimes. Well, I think he has that now. And I think that's why we're seeing that kind of big number. I like CLD in this spot a lot. It's going to be tough against Cannonier because we always know he's a threat. But I like Christian Leroy Duncan here. I just think he's going to be too fast, too smart, and too well-rounded. And he's got the experience to back it up now. So he's in a good spot here.
Cannonier 42, 1-1 spanning his last 2, hasn't fought since the unanimous decision loss to Michael Venom Page last August at UFC 319. Speaking of UFC 319, we get to the middleweight main event. Dricus du Plessis, minus 258. Kamaru Usman, plus 210. So DDP returning here, Kenny, for the first time in nearly a year since he was overwhelmed by Khamzat Chimaev in what was the 3rd defense of his title. He did successfully defend the belt twice. Now draws the decorated former welterweight champ Kamaru Usman. He comes off the win over Joaquin Buckley. That was June of 2025 and didn't fight at all in 2024. But for Usman, he's putting in the work. He's staying in shape, so I don't worry about any such layoff. What are your thoughts on Usman? Pretty big number, plus 210 next to his name this weekend.
Well, we saw what happened when du Plessis goes against a superior wrestler in Khamzat Chimaev. And I think that this is going to be one of those cases where, is this overconfidence from du Plessis facing someone like Usman, right after the Chimaev fight? Because grappling takes a heck of a lot of time to learn when it comes to wrestling and the takedown game, all the defensive counters and all the things you need to do to get that in order. It does take time. Is he taking this fight because he is rightfully confident, or is he overconfident in taking this fight? Because Usman is an absolute beast in that department. His grounded pound is phenomenal. He has the experience. He knows how to pace himself. He knows how to win rounds. Maybe not the biggest submission threat. I think Chimaev's still better in that department, but Chimaev even, couldn't get it done. Du Plessis is going to be a really hard guy to finish, but he can be controlled. We saw that in the Chimaev fight. Usman, we know he can do that. So it all comes down to how good du Plessis is in the wrestling department. If he can do that, I think du Plessis can use his size, his physicality, his aggression to get it done, perhaps to even stop Usman on the feet. But if this goes into the later rounds and Usman finds the ability to get in on those legs or do a clinch consistently, I like Usman in this spot. But I think it's going to be a close one. I think Usman can win, or if du Plessis is able to stop those takedowns, he can definitely get the finish on the feet. I think he's that dangerous and that big of a threat physically against Usman. But I kind of like Usman here to get the win by decision, but I think it's going to be close.
Nicely laid out and forced to make a World Cup wager, Kenny. France right now is the chalk selection, plus 140. Spain, plus 320, as is England. Argentina, plus 450. Regardless of betting odds, forced to make a pick on who emerges from the Final Four. Who do you like?
You're killing me. I'm nervous just thinking about my hands are sweating just thinking about
Isn't
these
it
fights.
amazing? Maybe we should
these
do a
fights,
soccer
these
podcast.
games. Gosh, I know, right? Seriously. Okay, so as far as France and Spain, two powerhouse teams with so much talent, but I think France just has more firepower, man, and they're clicking every single game. It seems like they get better. And Mbappe, I hate to say it, but this guy's probably the best player on the planet. Like, physically, he's just moving at a different speed than everybody else, and he knows how to finish. So I like him a lot. So I like France, and he's not the only guy. I mean, there's so many damn players on that squad. So I like France in that one. Argentina, England's tough to call, but the way Argentina has come together and put together these comeback wins and the way they're playing as a team, England is so good as well. But I don't know if they're cohesive and as consistent as Argentina. So I like Argentina in this spot. I'm sorry to all my UK friends, but I'm picking Argentina and France in the final.
All right. Well, I got a lot of tickets on France, so I'm going to have to hedge and bet on Spain in the Final Four. All right, let us get to some predictions. You have $1,000 to spend. You lost $700 and change if you're curious at UFC 329. You went 2-3 with your 5 bets, 2-4 if you include the Ellison Flyer. Yanni the Greek continues to absolutely murder it. So Kenny also in the black for the year. You're at plus $928.65. And Yanni the Greek is at plus almost $4,000 on the show. He's been absolutely crushing it as well. So Ken Flo, you got $1,000. What are we doing?
I'm gonna keep it simple, my man. I'm gonna put it all on CLD to get it done. So,
all right, Christian Leroy Duncan, $1,000 pay you $300 or so right now on DraftKings Sportsbook, and everybody, we encourage you to attack the board on the World Cup or UFC Fight Night. Du Plessis versus Usman, maybe the Home Run Derby, whatever else is out there. All right, before we get out of here, we didn't do it last week. We're excited to do it this week. Home of Fight Repacks, powered by Collectibles.com. You know how it goes. You secure your pack inside an authentic, already graded UFC card. Could be worth $1,600, right, for just a $60 investment. If you love MMA, if you thrive on anticipation, if you appreciate championship-level stakes, this is your moment. Homeoffightcards.com, or like me, just download the Collectibles app. And again, once you get this card, some options. You can put it in your online vault, ship it right home to your collection, or you can sell it right back instantly to Collectibles.com. So we'll begin out of the blue corner. Jon Anik, blue corner. Kenny Florian, red corner today. And we know sometimes the biggest wins don't happen inside the octagon. They happen in Blue Home of Fight Repacks, or do you want me to give you 30 seconds? So, a couple things on the way out as Cody gets that going. So, Hall of Fame induction ceremony was really cool. We did it before the press conference, right? But imagine being one of these Hall of Famers, Demetrius Johnson, Dominic Cruz, Chris Weidman, right? The Hall of Fame ceremony ends, and then Conor McGregor absolutely fucking crushes it at the press conference. You know what I mean? Like, it just made the Hall of Fame stuff back page news, you know? It just did. Like, I thought Conor was on fire. I would say he was 9 out of 10. In terms of vintage Conor on a microphone, I would say he was maybe 8.5 out of 10. Like, he was back. He was back.
He really was, man. And again, there's fights and then there's like spectacles. And every time Conor fights, he brings the spectacle.
Yeah.
And I don't think people can will appreciate how dynamic he is both in and out of the octagon. Like there's one Conor McGregor, man. It really is.
All right, here we go. I would say I'm kind of due for a good card here. I bought 3 baseball packs last week and they were trash. So here we go. Yo!
What do we got?
Well, good news, bad news.
Oh.
Right? So Charles Oliveira, maybe my favorite fighter, Charles Dubronx Oliveira, but it's PSA 8, so therein lies the issue. I mean, I don't know that I would sell back a Charles Oliveira car, but it doesn't have a good grade.
Right.
Nate, any advice in the back? 10, 9. I don't know what to do, Kenny. I don't know what to do. You know what? I'm going to hold it for now.
Yeah. I would hold it. Again, Oliveira.
Nate Bronson
absolute
suggesting maybe
legend.
I ship it to my home collection, crack it, and have it regraded because I love me some Charles Dubronx. All right, I'm going to open one more card here today. Home of Fight Repacks. By the way, did you see our guy Matty Betts jackpotted a Hard Rock slot for $2 million, Kenny?
Did he really? No way.
$2 million.
Bro.
Follow at Matty Betts with 2 S's.
We got to have him on the show. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, he's harder to book now.
Yeah.
Harder to book now, Matty. All right,
get it
what
back.
do we got? All right, PSA 10, Jalen Turner, 2022 Panini Prism, premium box set. Not bad. We are going to sell that back, though. Love me some JT, but we are going to sell that back. We'll take $47 and change. So lost $13 on that exchange, but the anticipation. I did just sell a Jalen Turner rookie card. Well, he retired once. That's a problem, you know. I'm looking for guys who are in it to win it. So I mentioned the Hall of Fame ceremony was great, and then immediately I just dovetailed right into Conor McGregor. And, someone was asking why I did the post-fight interview, and I love doing them. I don't get the opportunity to do them very much, but I was all suited and booted. Rogan was doing that side cast with Theo Vaughn, so they let me go in there and talk to Adrian, which was pretty cool. I was giving Rogan a hard time for leaving us for a fight. I was like, commit adultery and go over 10 feet and call a fight with them if you're so inclined. All right, now we got Ken Flo's account, Home of Fight Repacks, to close the show here today on a Monday. Ken Flo will have 2 selections, and Ken Flo's due to hit that holy grail.
I am. Let's see. I'm feeling good. What do we got?
2023 Panini Select UFC tie-dye Glover Teixeira PSA 9, former champ. They're offering you 90% buyback, $57. Former champ PSA 9.
I'm holding on to that. I'm holding on to the
smart.
Glover Teixeira. Yeah.
I mean, you have children.
One of our
they
lucky
might like
fans
that.
may have that too.
Yeah. I don't know if it was Glover, but somebody from Teixeira MMA Fitness in Danbury, Connecticut slid into my DMs when I showed some Storm recently, and they were like, welcome back to Connecticut.
That's funny.
All right, final selection for Ken Flo. Come on.
Give me something big. Come on.
It's going to be Conor.
Imagine.
Close.
Alex Pereira.
Flo, 2023 Panini Prism UFC Dominance Alex Pereira White Sparkle PSA 9. They're offering you over $181. Kenny, this is your best draw yet.
It is. I'm keeping this. Obviously, this is huge.
Amazing.
I like it.
That's amazing.
I'm keeping it. Yeah. Let's go.
Nate's telling me the tie-dye is usually out of 25, so that's a good card as well. So Ken Flo, 2 keepers, Glover Teixeira and Alex Pereira. Outstanding. All right, thanks to Ed Cap for getting us King Green and Brandon Royval today. Thanks to Ray Longo, RJ Clifford, the usual suspects, Nate Bronson, our fine producer, Cody Merrow. Thanks to my twin brother, Jason Anik, for all the help at UFC 329 and, of course, today. And we are right back with you next Monday, July 20th. I will be a guest on the program live from the inaugural Holloway Golf Invitational. Jason Anik will be in the big chair. And, we'll get you primed for Khalil Roundtree Jr. and Magomed Ankalaev, the forgotten man. And the number 1 contender is back in Abu Dhabi, July 25th. And, of course, you got Plessis and Usman coming up this weekend. Don't forget, subscribe to the Anik and Florian Podcast YouTube channel if you would be so inclined. And we also encourage you to follow All the Smoke Fight in all of its greatness. With that, for Ken Flo, I'm John Anik. We'll talk to you next Monday. Until then, yo later.